Joe, what you said is actually false, complete lies, and I can prove it. Me, as we've never ever in history lived longer. I think the average Canadian lives 84 years now. In the book, I claim that you could buy anything on a shelf in any grocery store and it's not going to kill you. Well, that's a whole nother discussion, but I wrote a book because I was, as you said earlier in the opening, I was at a conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and the two hosts had a panel discussion, and they were talking about, they got onto canola oil and glyphosate, and the head guy, Joe Polish is his name, actually, Genius Network. And Joe Polish says, well, I wouldn't eat that sludge, and he called canola oil sludge. And his guest was Kaylee Means, who's now a big gun behind RFK and the MAHA movement.
Mm.
And this Kaylee Means, who knows nothing about agriculture, starts making claims about all the ill will, all the ill things that he believes farmers are doing that are caused his mother to die of pancreatic cancer, actually. And none of them founded in any science or critical thinking at all, just claims. So you get these good talkers on the stage, and all the rest of the people in the audience were going, yeah, this is bad. I felt like crawling under the table and dying. But so I didn't think it was the right venue to take them on. So when it was over, I walked up to Joe Polish and I said, Joe, what you said is actually false, complete lies. And I can prove it. And he said, well, then prove it to me. So I went home, and it took me 2 months, and I wrote a 45-page letter to him on what claims he had made and what peer-reviewed data I had to say that he was incorrect in what he was saying. And then one of my friends said, you know what, why don't you write a book? Because I wrote the 45-page letter and I used scientific references. You claim this about canola oil? Well, here's the research on how healthy canola oil is in your diet if it's consumed at regular normal intake rates, and here's the research on it, and there's much more research showing it's a healthy thing to have in your diet. And so basically you could read my letter, and if you're a critical thinker, you could say there's a lot of evidence backing up the claim that canola oil is an important part of the human diet. And so then, so I said, yeah, what the heck? I might as well write a book about this. So then I was bored and I started writing this book.
What's been your experience writing this book? It's obviously been a big deal.
Actually, the book's turned out to be a #1 bestseller on and off Amazon for the last year now. When I do a talk about it, it blips in sales and so on. But I've got the Amazon #1 bestseller in 3 categories, actually: restaurant and food, and agronomy, and science, and something else. But
Congratulations. That's amazing.
yeah, so it is amazing. But
are you going to start smoking a pipe or something? Or
no. It has spurred me on to writing another book, which is a novel.
Do tell.
And I'm almost done my novel. Believe it or not.
Break. What?
Yeah. So I'm going to be, in the next 5 months, I will be launching my novel, a science fiction novel.
Stephen King here.
It's agriculture related.
This is so cool.
Yeah, and it's actually 60% a true story.
Huh.
In the 90s, I was hired as an agronomist to manage a project in the country of Kyrgyzstan just shortly after communism fell. So I went to Kyrgyzstan and I managed a winter wheat project to get Kyrgyzstan back on its feet to feed their people. And I was the lead agronomist on the project. And all the things that happened to me just after communism fell is what the book's about.
That's crazy. So why is it science fiction though?
So I added a science fiction twist to it because some strange things happened to me over there that were do.
Come on.
And
this is too good to be true.
It's true. Yeah, it's pretty true.
So it's like historical fiction kind of thing.
Yeah, with a twist, with Fibonacci and chaos theory involved.
Fibonacci. Okay, now you're talking.
Yeah,
That's brilliant. I love that.
the Fibonacci numbers.
Well, I mean, we could go a lot more into the book, and I know you're busy and all that stuff, and I really appreciate the time you took, and I almost feel like it's another conversation, maybe. Hey,
Yeah.
um, we could revisit this soon. What I'm thinking is, you've been doing some speaking.
I've been doing a lot of podcasts, and so since I wrote the book, which I wrote the book primarily targeting two audiences. Number one, I wrote the book for the average consumer that you could read it and it would be an easy read. So I wrote it for the average person living in downtown Toronto that knows nothing about farming or agriculture. I wanted to make it kind of in common language, not scientific, but backed with fact. So after I wrote the book, I hired 4 fact checkers to fact check the book. So if I make a claim in the book that oil is good for you, there's research to say, here's the research on human beings eating canola oil, and here's what happened. They had reduced cardiovascular disease, and there's actually scientific evidence of that.
Hmm.
And so the fact checkers checked the book. I said, if there's one thing I said in the book that was false, it'll kill the whole book because somebody will find it, right?
Yeah.
So that was the biggest cost of writing this book was fact checking it. And so it's been out a year, and I have not had one person say that there's some false things in that book. I've had the anti-farming MAHA people challenge me and say it because I in the book I claim that you could buy anything on a shelf in any grocery store and it's not going to kill you. It will not kill you. And they, oh, there's things that'll kill you in a grocery store. I said, well, yeah, if you drink 10 gallons of canola oil, it might not be good for you in one sitting,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But uh, what amazes me is we've never ever in history lived longer. I think the average Canadian lives 84 years now.
Wow. Didn't
The
know it was that high.
longevity,
Yeah.
yeah, it's I think it's 84 years in Canadians now. The average life expectancy